Okay, we'll start the session, and we hope yesterday's class was very informative and you might have taken some information from us. Today we are going to have the session on library resources and services. We all know that there are so many resources and services, but still we will see exactly what are the library resources are available and what are the best services that we can offer. We'll see today library resources and the number of services are available and what the best way we can offer the library services and how to reach the patrons in a right way, in an appropriate way. This is what we are going to see today. We all know that the resources is anything that provide you with an information. This is what resource. In library we can, there are some background voice. Can you please participants, make sure mics are being muted. Muthu Chelvi.
Yes, sir. Proceed, sir.
Yeah, please. Thank you. There are some background noise. Can you please mute your mic or videos, please? Fine. In library, we can say a number of resources in terms of books, periodicals, AV resources, online resources like online databases, journals, ebooks, and theses and dissertations. These are all comes under, there are main two categories. It is being splitted in two main categories. One is documentary, the other one is non-documentary. Yes, we will see what is documentary and what is non-documentary. The documents are a physical source of information that are fit for physically handling, or they are the record in some physical formats. We can say it like the books, journals, the printed newspapers. These are all the documents. Then what are the non-documents? The non-document sources of information are live sources that provide information instantly. For example, research organizations, societies, industries, even government establishments, departments, learned and professional bodies, even some university documents. These are all the non-documentary services. As a library or the librarian, we are supposed to collect both documentary as well as non-documentary resources. So these are all the types of resources, and there are number of services we can offer. The services as well as the documents is depends upon the institutions where you belongs to, whether it could be in academic library or in public library. As we discussed yesterday, depends upon the types of library, the resources and the services will differ. This is what we are going to see today. Resources or the informations can be splitted in three main sources. One is primary sources, secondary sources, tertiary sources. Yesterday we have seen only the names of these three sources. Today we are going to see little more what is exactly it is and what are the samples. With examples we are going to see. The primary source in the sense, the original source from the first hand. Original data without filter or without interpretation. This is called the primary source. So for example, if you take a survey or if you write your diary notes, these two are the primary sources. For example, if I take a survey with 1,000 participants, whatever the data I collect, this is as it is. If I provide the diagram or anything, it is primary data, the original data. It is without filter, without any interpretation. For example, if the same data, same chart or the diagram or the table, if I am interpreting, if I rewrite about the diagram or about the table, it become a secondary sources. Yeah, this is what the secondary sources. And these type of sources not evidence. When it comes to the secondary source, you cannot show it as evidence. The primary source or the primary data, you can show it as a evidence, but the secondary source or the secondary data, we cannot show it as evidence, but we can say it or discuss of the evidence. This is called a secondary source. And the tertiary, what is it? A collection of primary and secondary data. Both the combination of the data or the resources are called tertiary data. So now you could compare what are those three: primary, secondary, and tertiary. For example, if I publish an article, if I take a survey, I publish an article, then the same article has been published in an online databases as a abstract as well as the citation. You take just one article, I'm going to show or I'm going to tell you the primary, secondary, tertiary resources. My original data or my original article, only the data, the table, the original data without any filter, if I show, that is my primary. The same table or the content, when I am having the discussion, when I am having the findings or the conclusions, these are all the secondary sources, because I'm just interpreting my data, the original data, showing as evidence, but that is not evidence. So this is called the secondary data. Okay, I published an article. It is published in online journal or the printed journal. The same thing has been given by some other online database. For example, my journal is being published in a Scopus, which is indexed in some other online database or somewhere else, right? Even Google Scholars, you all know that Google Scholars or even EBSCO, PreQuest, they all show the first abstract, right? If you search my article under my name, under my topic, it will be displaying the first one, only the abstract about my article, about the author, about the conclusion, about the description. This is called the tertiary data, because the data is not original, the article is not original, they are just combined and they are displaying in some other format. So this is called tertiary data. Okay, we will see some examples. Hope you can see my screen, right? Not the PPT, some internet sources. Okay, these are all the types of information sources. The link I have given in the reference. You can also browse it later. Different types of information sources in library. The primary sources are original material. The original material has not been filtered through interpretation or evaluation. So this is called the primary data. Like the present original thinking or the report of a discovery or share new information. This is called the original data. What are the examples they have given? Artifacts like coins, plant specimens. This all comes under science. Furniture, tools, clothing, all from the time under study. Then audio recording. If even the video is being recorded, if it is given as it is without edit, without any modifications, this is the original data, the primary data. Then interviews, the historical interviews. You know, still the people are viewing for the Vivekananda speech. So the Vivekananda speech, the original video without editing, without voice changing, the modulation, it is called the primary source. And the newspaper articles written at the time, the same time. The patent, a photograph, even the photographs, wild photograph or anything, without any graphics, same as it is. These are all the primary sources. Then secondary sources. As we discussed before, secondary sources are less easy defined than primary sources. They are accounts written after the fact with the benefit of insights like interpretation. like bibliographic, as we said, commentaries, criticism, and dictionaries, encyclopedia. For example, dictionary and encyclopedia, what they do, they are compiling data from somewhere else, here and there, they will take. Same way for the textbook. Whatever the textbook we read, they might have got from some other sources and they will show it as evidence. They interpret it. And the website content. The website content they will take and they will upload the data. So these are all the secondary sources. And then tertiary sources. Tertiary sources consist of information which is a distilled and collection of primary and secondary sources. For example, almanacs, bibliographics, as we said, directories, fact book. You know, every year some publications they publish as a fact book or the yearbook. They will compile the whole year documents and they will publish. So this is called yearbook or the fact book, dictionaries, even indexing and abstract. These are all comes under the tertiary resources. So these are all the things that I just want to show it to you. And this is already, yeah. Yes, now I'm in my PPT. Hope you can see my screen. So now we are in the link has been given at the down. So you can just click the link. You can go through by yourself. Okay, now we have seen the types of information resources. Then we will see the library collections. So this is the original type of library collections. When we see orally, we can say books, serials, government publications, and audio visual AV resources, then e-resources, some of the miscellaneous materials, then microfilm and materials. So these are all the overall library collections. Only comes under books itself. There are 4-5 categories. Textbook, even the reference books is entirely different. And the rare books. You know all the rare books, you know. Some of the rare books means more than 50 years, 70 years, 100 years. Even some of the books are like OLHOD, we can say it in English, I mean Tamil. So these are all comes under rare books and theses. The students' reports or dissertations, these are all comes under books. Then what is serials? Serials is like a periodicals. You all know what is periodicals. Newspapers, journals, annuals and periodicals. I just want to point out here when it comes to the periodicals. Hope you all know the difference between journal and magazines, right? We people used to call it as a magazine or the journal. Some of them still they don't know what are the differences between journal and magazines. Journal means it deals with a particular subject or the particular discipline. For example, information science or library journals. It deals only with the library science. If you take National Geography, if it deals with only wild and national, I mean wild related or the discovery, these kind of services, it's called comes under journal. For example, magazines, India Today. India Today deals with any particular subject? No, it is multidisciplinary. It deals sometimes with the politics, it sometimes deals with the sports, economics, business, even entertainment, film, right? It deals with n number of subjects, multidisciplinary, it is called magazines. The journal, it deals with only particular subject or the particular discipline. So this is the difference between the journal and magazines. Then what is the international journal and national journal? Because many libraries, they have to give a report like a number of national journal, number of international journals. When it comes to international journal, the circulation of the particular journal with other countries, it is called international. Within the country, the distribution or the publications, it is called national publications. With any nations, it comes under national publications. So this is what, and government and institutional publications. If there is any government reports, why we Why we are mentioning all those things means, as a librarian or as a library professionals, you are not going to work only in the academic institutions. You may work in public library, you may work in schools, or you may work in museum. So there are many opportunities. So we all supposed to know what are the resources, what are the types of library collections. If you go to public library or if you go to any corporate library, their collections are entirely different. Then government and institutional publications, reports, committee reports, commission reports, any conference proceedings, these are all comes under government and institutional publications. Then what is audiovisual? We all know that we say AV resources, audio and video resources, or audio and visual materials. Phone disk. You know, the earlier stage, people used to have a phone card or the cassettes or even the phone record. These are all called audio and video records. Phonograph, magnetic tape or disc, audio cassette, video cassettes, and video disc, film strips, you know, the roll. These are all comes under audiovisual. And e-resources. Within the e-resources, there are different types of resources. E-journal, e-book, electronic databases, e-thesis, and online e-resources. These are all comes under e-resources. You all know the difference between the online databases and different journals. The online databases, it's a combine of all different types of electronic resources in one platform. This is called online databases. For example, PreQuest. In India, it is very most famous, EBSCO and PreQuest. These two databases covers journals, books, even electronic thesis. So these all combined electronic resources comes under one roof as a online databases. When you say number of online databases, if it is EBSCO, only one online databases. Within one online databases, you may have n number of electronic journals, n number of electronic books, and n number of electronic theses. So this is the difference between online databases and individual journal and books. Fine. Then what is miscellaneous materials? Yes, even in many libraries, we are supposed to collect and preserve for the chart, pictures, globes, and some other models. Even in our library, we have some globe and even the maps, chart, many items we have it in our library. So this is all comes under the miscellaneous materials. And microfilm and microfilm. So these are all the different types of materials, and nowadays people are trying to convert all the microfilm and microforms into the digital format. So these are all the main library collections. So these differ from each and different types of library. Okay, then we will move into the library services. When we say library services, whatever the services that you provide has to be attracted, has to be utilized by the users. If you have n number of services which is the users, they don't know, which they don't use, it means there is no use. So as a librarian, we are supposed to know what we do and how we do, to whom we are doing it, and whether we take the resources to the right person at the right time. So this is the main motto for the librarians. The first and foremost are reference services. You all know what is reference services. As I said yesterday, the librarians are supposed to be user friendly, approachable. Then only they will come to you and asking for the help, where to find what resources, how to find, what are the trusted resources. So these are all comes under the reference services. As a librarian, you have to guide the people. You should not hide yourself. When the students comes, when the faculty comes, you should not hide yourself. You have to go forward and help them. Yes. Once you started these cultures, then automatically students will come to you. Then they will not complaining you against your service or your behavior. Okay, when you say this is the reference books are available here and these are all the online resources, this place you can access, these are all the reference services. What is the next one? The referral services. Reference service is different, referral service is different. Reference services within your library, you are telling them resources are available here, you can access here and there. This is the way you can access. But the referral service means you can show them the resources available in somewhere else. This is the way you can get access. You can tell them. So this is called referral services. I have to show you two union catalogs. One is world catalog for the international union catalog. The other one is Indicate. It is from the InflipNet. Let me show you this. Okay, hope my screen is visible. IND Gate. This is Indian Union Catalog powered by InflipNet Center. See, this is the Union Catalog within India. As a librarian, if you have a online softwares, library softwares, if you have the OPAC access, you can please join with the Indian Union Catalog. You can contact the people, they will guide you how you can join with the Indian Catalog. So for example, if I'm searching a particular book for my user, which is not available in library, but you can guide them where you can find. For example, education. I want to search by state wise. Select it down, education. Here I can select anything. For example, Tamil Nadu or Rajasthan, anything you can do. I make it Rajasthan or West Bengal. I'm just select and searching. See, these are all the books are available in West Bengal. Okay, I'm taking one particular book, Thinkers on Education. Here they will show you where it is available. Holding university name, University of Kalyani, the book accession number, the classification number. And they have given even the template, how to request. See, it is comes under default. They have along with the title, you can request directly to the university librarian because they don't provide the university librarian email. They have given the university name. You can directly browse in Google and get the librarian's details and your name and your email, whatever the things that you want to, you can type and you can send them. Then this is the way the union catalog is working. So this is called India Gate. Once you find these are all the places nearby my state or my place, you can guide the users to go there and collect the books from them. So you are helping through the interlibrary loan. It is a kind of service, but how you will be doing, this is the way you have to guide them. Okay, I'll go back to my slide. So this is called referral services. Same way for the world catalog. World catalog also the same way. Go to worldcatalog.org. Then you can find the title. Then down you'll be having the search option. You can select the places, whether within India or any other country, you can select. So this is called referral services. These kind of services you can do, the user will be very happy. And current awareness services, you all know what is current awareness services. The current trends, latest trends you have to update. For example, what is today the current awareness tool? Again, lockdown in Tamil Nadu, COVID-19, the issues of COVID-19, these details you can send them. And the online courses related to particular people. For example, if you are working in a university, you may have n number of departments. If there is any particular English department, if you find any other workshop or web conferences, you can send them the details to the particular department, particular people. And if there is any alert, any employment, you can send them. And if there is any new articles related, you can send them. These are all comes under current awareness services. But you people have to be proactive by email. Even when you give a feed, RSS feed with all the subscriptions of your magazine or online databases, you will be getting email notifications to your particular email. The same thing you can forward it to your faculty members. They'll be more happy because they may not come down to library for searching journals or anything. Maybe of them interest, they may come to library. They can take use of it. So this is the way you can promote the current awareness services. We are doing, but still we don't know what else those services comes under. This is called the current awareness services. And the other one is selective dissemination of information. We all know SDI services. But how we can promote this selective dissemination of information? This is very easy, but people are not doing very proactively because it is little workload. You have to combine the profile of the people. For example, the master degree students, they may waiting for their project works. Some of them, they may doing it for the computer science, any specific technology related skills, or some of them, they may do it for the library. So whatever the new things comes, new resources comes for the particular topic, particular things, you have to send them only those selected items to the particular user. So this is called the selective dissemination of information services. You have to create a user profile, then the same way you have to compile the data in a topic wise, then you can disseminate to the users. This is called selective dissemination of services. When you use the subject catalogs, then it will be very easy. Let me show you some other links. Some of the universities, they already developed a subject catalogs. Those subject catalogs, they may feed RSS. Then whatever the new journal comes, it will be automatically pop up. The only the subject area, they can send it to them in a monthly basis or weekly basis. It depends upon you. So this is called selective dissemination of information. Okay, the next service, alerting service. Yes, people actually normally love to receive alerts from the library because you know very well the students or even some of the faculty members, they may not even come to library because nowadays all they want to use the electronic resources or Google or something. So as a librarian, you have to select the new arrivals. What we do it in our library, some background noise, let me mute them. Okay, new alerting service, new arrivals. In our library, what we do, we have a WhatsApp group or we have a Facebook. We don't have a separate Facebook account for the library, but we integrated with our college Facebook account. Weekly once, what we do, a particular subjective area, we cover and we take all the books and we take a photo and we compile the details. Mainly title, author, publisher, and the price. Only these 4 details. We will take an image, we will compile the data, 10 books every week in a particular subject area. We'll take and we will send it through the WhatsApp, as well as the same thing we will upload it to our Facebook. So both the way it will reach to the users. Then they will see, then they will come back to the library for that particular resources. This is the way you can promote the new arrivals. Even though if you buy 1,000 books, all the 1,000 books will not be notified by the users. But if you do it this way, students, they easily use the WhatsApp and they will see what are the things are being availed. And if they are interested, they will come back and the resources can be used. So this is what the librarian's main aim. Whatever the resources, that has to be utilized by the user. So alert services you have to promote, you have to use. Then literature search services. What is literature search services? If you have n number of online databases, students, they may not know how to use, they don't know how to search, how to retrieve the information. So you may help them directly. Maybe it is not, I mean, if you may not be free, but still you can take your extra time, you can help them, or you can guide them where they can search, how to retrieve, where the right resources, what are the right resources, they can find it from right resources. You can help them, or you can compile, you can share it to them. So these services you can do it. When you do it, you will be very close to the users also. When you are very close to the users, you can easily promote the library services. Fine. The other one is document delivery services. This is very essential nowadays. Even though if you don't have any resources, you can ask from your friends. And before join, I mean, I just want to explain one more thing. You are supposed to have a professional network with your library colleagues. This is the top skills needed nowadays. Many librarians, they are not having the professional connections with the people. No, it is not recommended. You are advised to, you are requested to have a professional network with your own library team. I'm sorry, the Zoom meeting is going to be end within a minute. If it is disconnect, you can join with the same link in immediately basis. The same link, what we sent it today morning, you can join with the same link. Professional networks. As a librarian, we are all supposed to have a professional network, even through your WhatsApp groups, librarians groups. There are some societies, there are some associations, librarian associations. You please join. Through the professional network only, you will become to know what are the trends, the latest trends are available in library, and you have to participate the workshops, and you have to participate any webinar sessions, wherever it comes under the librarian. Through these kind of things only, you will become to know what are the latest trends, what are the new skills we needed, what are the scopes are available, and even the vacancies. And I don't mind to share, I have more than 15 years of experience, and this is my, within 15 years, I have moved into 11 working places. Within 15 years of working experience, 11 places I have moved. All these 11 jobs that I have come to know through my networking. Not recommendation, reference. People used to tell you there is a vacancy over there is a vacancy here. So why do they, I mean, when you have a professional network, then only you will come to know all these things. So 11 institutions, even this particular institute also I have joined. I come to know the vacancies through my friends, through my professional friends. So this is the big advantage for the to have a professional networking. You can join through WhatsApp group, you can join through the Facebook, you can join the blogs. There are many library blogs are being available, and they are keep on sending the vacancies. They are keep on updating the seminars, workshops. So please join in any of the networking. If there are some other professionals are joining this course, please, whatever your profession, maybe the teachers, you can join in the teachers group, school teachers group. Thank you. And document delivery services. It is called DDS. What is document delivery services? Through the interlibrary loan, you can find wherever the resources are available. As I said, the professional networking, if you have the professional network, you can easily communicate to your nearest libraries. If you don't have any documents or any resources, you can feel free to call them and ask the help. You can ask them to send the resources to you. You can ask them to share the resources without cost, free of cost. They'll be doing it. If it is electronic version, easily they download and they will share it to you. Because some of the faculties members, they may ask in immediate basis the resources what they want. They will not wait. They want today. If you don't have it, you don't get panic and you don't get scared immediately. And very cool if you have the professional network. Many universities, they have n number of online databases. Even nowadays, many colleges, they have they have Delnet and Enlist. So this Delnet and Enlist has covering n number of online databases. They can download and they can share it to you easily. This document delivery service, actually, if they are doing it professional way, you have to send them the request. As I shown on the India catalog, the Union catalog, you can send them the request. They will tell you whether the books are available, even they are ready to share it to you or not. Other than MOU, if you don't have MOU, that is fine. The MOU, if you have it, it is very easy. If you don't have any MOUs also, you can simply request any books. If it is electronic version, they will send it easily. If it is print version, they may charge you for the postal charge. That's it. Then the translation service. Yes, still it is needed for the translation services. In college or school libraries, there is no need for translation services. But in many universities, they have so many departments and the students are from somewhere else. So you can provide the translation services also. And web paperback. Within web paperback, you can give n number of services. You all know what is web paperback. Then article indexing services. What is article indexing services? You are having online subscriptions of n number of databases as well as the physical journals. But whatever the journals or related journal comes, the same way when you are sending the new arrival, same thing you can have update on your library management software also. Same way for the book. You can create a separate resources as an article. You can give them the access. When you have added into your index, when they search, it will be showing book and article. You can tell them easily if it is their particular subject or particular interest, they will come to know the article is available. So this is article indexing service. You can use this article indexing service even on your web page or the website. Okay, we all know that lending services, the borrowing, issue, return, renewal, reservation, all those things. Under this circulation, there are many extra services you can provide. Automatic displaying of availability and return date and status of a particular book. When they search in OPAC, if it is issued, you don't need to show them the person who got issued, but you can tell them when the returning date. Then the people usually make the reservation. And the status, sometimes the book is available, but when it comes to the library, book is missing or book got damaged. So you have to update the status. These books are damaged or this is missing issues. So when they see the status, they will come to know the book is not available in library, or which is available, or which is issued and return date is this. So when you know all these options, even though if you are buying any online software, you can request them to show or adopt all these services. And quick generation of fine receipt. Yes, many libraries, they collect fine, but they are not providing a receipt. There is no need, but still, if you want to be perfect, if you have any issues with the payment systems, you better enable these services. Simple small services like petrol station, they will give a small receipt. All the softwares are being available, these options, find receipt, but you have to enable and you have to keep on practicing it. And issuing library cards and transaction history of the particular user. Let them have access all these things. Even this free software called Koha, it has all these features. Even though if you have already the paid software, you have to know all these services and you have to enable it. And email reminders of the overdue. Many softwares providing this service, but if we don't know what is email reminders, how to generate a report, we will not doing it. So you have to enable these reminders. Then at the end of the year, when you find a stock, you will be in a problem. Some of the books are being issued with a particular people in many years. So you have to check the reminder, you have to send it 2 weeks once or every week or monthly once, you have to send the reminders. So these are all the extra services. When you sending these things, people or the management comes to know you are very active, you are very proactive. Less supervision. So no one needs to tell you, you can do it by yourself. Then the reservation, same way. And interlibrary loan. As we said, if you have MOUs, directly you can have the interlibrary loan with a proper manner. Okay, then RFID and smart card based circulation. Self check-in or self checkout. Maybe if you may have a budget, some of the management, they will provide you the budget, then you can have enabled this check-in checkout kiosk or RFID. What is the benefit for this RFID other than the normal library? RFID, you can easily track each system, or even sometimes this RFID gives many advantages of the gate entry. When they enter directly, it will be capturing their. And nowadays the new sensor systems, they don't need to show anything. If they have their ID card in their pocket or in their neck, the RFID gate directly capture their entry. They don't need to make even entry on the gate register. And many of the library softwares, they give e-gate facilities. They don't need to line or queue for entering their name on the gate register. They can show their ID card in the scanner, they can come e-gate, or directly RFID, you have to enable the sensor. It will be a little costly if many libraries or many managements are ready to support. So you have to bring this type of services to the management, then they will definitely allow. Then Union Catalog. What is Union Catalog? As I shown you the Indian catalog, same way you can join with any of the Union catalogs for the particular state or the country or even the world catalog. You can join. If you have the library management system, the proper library management system with a MARC format, you can easily approach them. They will guide you how you can join with their online catalog. Then your visibility will be more and then people will start to communicating you. Same way how you're finding unavailable books with other neighboring libraries, the same way they will search and they will join you. This Union Catalog concept first introduced by Rowell in UC Berkeley, first program of interlibrary lending in 1894. See, the concept was introduced in 1894. Until now, many of our librarians are not doing it. And outreach students, how you can outreach services? What is this outreach services? Outreach services is nothing but reaching the patrons who are not visiting the library. Maybe in some physical problem, or some of them willingly, they are not willing to visit the library, but still you have to reach them. Some people, they cannot visit library, physically handicapped or blind people. I don't know how to say in another word, partially blind. So you can help them. You have to reach them. You have to show them these are the resources. Maybe through online, as I said, WhatsApp, Facebook. It is very easy nowadays to create a Facebook account. You can create under your college name or the library name, and you can update all the details on the Facebook. You can connect those Facebook account into your college account. If you make it separate, you may not be reaching out your students. So you can connect your content into your college account. Then it will be reaching more and you will be having more visibility and your resource will be used a lot. Okay, the other one is ICT based library services. Full text database services, as we said, you can subscribe online databases. When it comes to online databases, I'll just show you how you can subscribe online databases which you don't have it now. Maybe many of your libraries having online databases, full text online services. You may approach the particular publisher or through consortium. Consortium is very cost effective. Even this Enlist and Delnet, they are providing for the aided colleges and universities. You can directly deal with them and the cost will be very less. Enlist, they are charging only 6,000 and Delnet 14,000 in a yearly subscriptions. That's it. And once you purchase, you may have the training. You can call the people, executive from them, or they will give the electronic version demo to your students. Online training, basically. And web-based information services. Like what is web-based information services? Discovery services or a federated search. You have to note down these discovery services or federated services. It is nothing but like a Google. If you have n number of databases, they have to go each and every databases for single search. I mean, to each search, they have to go, whether it is not available, they have to go to the next, then they have to go to the next online databases. It is not possible nowadays, because if it is, then they will search from the Google. Then there is a extra services called discovery services or federated services. This one, discovery services or federated search. What they will do, it is called single search engine. If you have n number of databases, for example, many universities, they may have 15 online databases like EBSCO, ProQuest, McGraw-Hill, Science Direct. Many things they have, they can integrate all of them into one platform like a Google search. This discovery service, they will contact their suppliers. Only thing, you have to connect these two people. They will work out. You don't need to work out. Only you have to be as a coordinator. Single search, they will connect each and everything along with your online library systems. Your web back also they will integrate. So your library collection, n number of online database will be all together within single search. It is called discovery services. This is a kind of web-based services. Then bibliographic services. As we said, subject bibliography, historical and comprehensive or universal. There are different types of, I have given the links here. You can go to this link and you can read more about all these web related services. For example, there are open library subject guides. You can download and you can install. If you don't know, you can just search the Google. Only thing, you guys are ready to learn new skills. Even now, during this time, there are many webinar sessions are coming. They are giving n number of demo sessions. So you can join them and you can have access, you can implement it. Open source. You don't need to worry about using open sources. Only thing, you have to have a coordinate with your IT team in a good way. That's it. And then next one is abstracting services. As we said, all the databases, software teams, they provide abstract. But maybe your faculty members or students, they may not use these services. You can take the abstract, even you can integrate it into your web pages. If you give abstract only in a particular department or particular subject, you can send it to them, or you can update on your website, or you can prepare subject guidelines. I will show you at the end of the link, some of the universities, they use the subject guides. And indexing services, same way for the book index, index of collections, periodical, newspapers, citations. Same way, what is index service? How you are cataloging your books, same way you can catalog the other articles, other citation, newspaper articles, everything in one platform. you can do it. And reprographic service, you know, the photocopy, scanning, these are all the general services you can enable. Apart from all the services, you have to show the library activities. When you do all these services, you may doing it better, but management will not be find out you. When you're doing these kind of activities in your library, then only you will be more visible or more attracted by the management. Orientation service, yes, you have to have a proper orientation session at the beginning of the academic year. When they comes, whether July, August, whenever they comes new students or the faculty members, you have to give them the proper orientation. What are the resources are available, how they can access, what are the borrowing limits, everything, each and everything you have to give them the presentation. Or even you can use the pamphlets or small brochure, you can print and give them, you can show them. Then as a library tour, you can do it at the beginning. And exhibition and book fairs, these things you can do, science exhibition or anything as a librarian you can conduct. Every year you can conduct a book fair. So you'll be more visible or you'll be more proactive. And campaigns or publicity. If you have any programs or anything, you have to publish your details. How? Through your professional networks, through your college notice board, your Facebook, your email. Many things you can do. For example, you can, even if you want to publish or anything, if you want to promote any new things, nearby the water can, you can put a small poster. Each and everybody wants to drink a water. Even nearby toilet, yeah, you can. We don't need to laugh, but still we can do it. If you want to promote, you have to, where people used to go, you have to put the notice over there. Nearby water, nearby toilet, nearby lab, nearby canteen, you can do it. This is the way you can promote. The next day you remove it. And reading clubs and groups. What we do in our library, we have a book review sessions. We request the faculty members to give the book review sessions, so students will be attracted reading. Even though when they are not reading a particular book, when the faculty says this is very exciting book, it is very useful, they will read. So you can conduct a book review session. You can even invite the authors to speak to your school students or even the university students. You can call the famous authors. They will share their experience, how to publish a book or how to compile the data. So these things, the authors will be more, they will convey the messages to the students, and the students will be more attracted from the library. So this is the way you can reach out. And guest speaker series, same way you can, how other departments are doing, how the faculty members are doing, the same way you can do it as a librarian. You can invite the guest speakers, you can let them talk about related to library or even in general way, like motivational speech you can arrange. Something you can do it. Any specific or catchy topics, you can conduct a workshop, like training on new skills through the library. It is not only library things. You can call the people and you can train them. You can give the training to your students, anything related to computers or any robotics or any new skills. So this is the way you have to be more active. When it comes to the administration, the next class I will show you the action plan, how the library activities, all those things I'll show you. And the publications, newsletter, bulletin and guides. So this is the main task you have to provide. Newsletter, whatever the library activities if you are doing but no one knows, you have to prepare a newsletter and keep it on the table, or you can publish it on online, you can do it. Okay, so these are all the two readings. It is almost over the session, and these are all the two readings. I have given the links. You can please go through these links. You will read more services, more online resources, what kind of activities you can provide, you can read out. And some of the references, the first link I have shared, LISBD network. They have given many resources related to the library. And one more lovely professional university link I have shared. They have all the diploma course, library science and bachelor's degree and master's degree, full length study material. So you can use it, you can read more. you can utilize. Fine. Thank you. Thank you so much. I have done my session, and thank you so much. Thanks for your participation. If you have any queries,